All right, it's time now to discuss European football as the final set of second leg matches in the hotly contested round of 16 has come to an end. One of the most heralded Spanish football derbies was front and center on today's lineup as reigning champions Real Madrid, with a 2-1 first leg victory under their belt, made the trot down the street of the Spanish capital to face the local rivals Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. Well, let's take a full look at the results from today now. Okay, so after today, Arsenal advancing 9-3 against PSV. Aston Villa, a 6-1 defeat against Club Brugge. And then, of course, Dortmund 3-2 against Lille. Okay, waiting for the update on the rest of the results. Lance, what we do know is Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid were locked in that one. Do we have an update on that? Is it
well, they're going to penalties now.
Okay, so they're going to...
Atletico Madrid won the second leg 1-0. And which tied the score at 1-1 on aggregate. They went into extra time. There were no more goals, and they are now getting ready for penalties.
Yeah, we have a live. Yeah, we have a live look in this. So of course, both teams will be hoping that they can get the advantage over the other. But really top stuff from Atletico Madrid today, Lance. We have to give them that. First of all, they started with a bang. That goal from Conega, in literally less than a minute. Top stuff from him. So again, Atletico Madrid showing that they're not a pushover, they're a match for any team that they come up against. And one of the teams that I think could actually get the better of Real Madrid is Atletico Madrid.
It's a tough team to beat. Diego Simeone is a very established coach, and he has this ability to get his players to rise to tough occasions. And there is no tougher occasion for an Atletico Madrid player to tackle Real Madrid, who are the more celebrated half of in the city rivalry. There was a penalty missed today as well by Vinicius, which would have recaptured the lead for the Real Madrid team. But there's the Gallagher goal. This happened in the first 30 seconds of the match. So this was the important strike for Atletico Madrid, which has sent this game now into penalties. As I said, Vinicius missed a penalty in the 70th minute. Here it is, and he missed that penalty by far. He didn't only kick it high, but he kicked it wide. That was hugely disappointing from a player that a lot of fans, mostly Real Madrid fans, felt that should have won the Ballon d'Or award.
All right, let's get ready. Mbappe is ready for the first kick. Let's just take a quick look fast.
Yeah, well, this is the penalty shootout that is on at the moment. Juan Giarango is scheduled to be joining us pretty soon to recap what has happened today. But here's Mbappe's first penalty, and he scores it easily.
Easy.
Just a calm stroke to the left of the goalkeeper who went the wrong way. So Real Madrid has gotten the start that they wanted. Interested to see what Vinicius will do, because, as we said, he missed his penalty in open play. When that happens and you have another penalty to kick, like in a penalty shootout, you may want to change your strategy. You'll probably go for the other end or the other side of the goal.
But then you can easily, the goalkeeper can easily figure you out.
The goalkeeper doesn't know what to do either, because he isn't sure what you're going to do. But the key as an international player is for you to decide what you want to do.
Do the same thing.
Yeah, whether it's the same thing or not, you have to be sure in your mind what your choice is and where you're going to kick the ball. So really tense moments here, because
Antoine Griezmann
has just scored, so it's 1-1 between the two teams. So it was Turlot actually scoring that. Atletico Madrid, and look at the celebration for the Atletico Madrid fans. This one could go right down to the wire. Yeah, we have Juan Giarango now joining us. Juan, we're taking him away from the excitement, although he is watching, but we're going to distract him a bit here. Juan, how exciting has this fixture been, and how nervous would it be for the two teams at the moment here in the penalty shootout?
Well, I think the answer is pretty obvious. I mean, it's a shame that one of these two teams has to leave the Champions League today. and not be able to continue. I mean, it's been an interesting match. I mean, we talked about it yesterday about how Atleti needed to get the jump and needed to jump on this encounter first and foremost, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, in the most literal sense, scoring in the first minute with Conor Gallagher's. It's just, interesting to see how these two teams have gone after each other, have been able to counter one another, have been able to truly find a way to keep this series interesting instead of seeing a blowout as we have seen throughout this entire series, or throughout this entire Champions League round, I should say.
Yeah, Bellingham on target for Real Madrid's second penalty, so they're up 2-1 at the moment. Your thoughts on Vinicius' penalty miss in the 70th minute? Hugely disappointing. He missed the goal by far.
By a lot. Yeah, you're right. And it was something that ends up being kind of disappointing, because at least for Madrid, because that would have basically locked up the series for them in terms of what's gone on, as another penalty about to be taken right now. It's interesting to see how, and just hammering it in there to equalize. And it was disappointing because Madrid started out slow, Lance and Mariah. They started out slow, but the substitutions ended up being a major factor. I mean, you see that Modric comes in, Tchouaméni, Brahim Diaz, who was probably one of the best players for Real Madrid if you look at just body of work for an individual player, and of course Fran Diaz coming in. You end up seeing that Brahim Diaz was able to truly help out a great deal. Tchouaméni, when he came in, he was able to help a lot, tracking back defensively overall. Atleti's substitutions really didn't hit the nail, if you will, weren't really on par with what they needed to do, and that to me ends up being where things got a little bit more dramatic towards the end, if you ask me.
Yeah, Julian Alvarez scoring, and it's 2-2 now between Atletico Madrid and in the penalty shootout. There is a 3-2 score now because Real Madrid scored their third penalty. So Real Madrid 3-2 up in the penalty shootout here. Yeah, that was a solid strike. Goalkeeper went for it, almost got there, but perfectly placed. So really tight going. Real Madrid.
He deserved it. Valverde deserved it because, again, he ends up being a very influential player for Real Madrid, and he's been on fumes over the past couple of weeks. I mean, you look at how he's been playing, and you look at what he's been playing with over the past, even going back to the City time. And we've been, I've been saying, he looks exhausted, he looks tired, but he continues going. Looks like he's grown a third lung just to kind of continue having him at least get to that finish line, if you will. Yeah.
We are awaiting Vinicius' kick because I suspect that he'll be in, he'll be in the top 5, and he was substituted, so he actually won't be kicking a penalty, Vinicius. So he was taken off. But we know of Real Madrid's dominance and power in European football. So, their fans will be confident that they could survive these nervy moments here. I gather that there has to be a penalty retake, Juan?
If you see how close it was, you'll understand why the reaction. I'll leave it at that.
So it's 3-3 at the moment?
Coming up already
3-2. Real Madrid up 3-2.
This is so much excitement. It's as if, Lance, you're not sure how it's going to end off.
A penalty shootout, Mariah, for anyone with vested emotions is almost unbearable.
I don't have vested emotions, but there's a team I want to win versus the other team. So none of my teams are in it, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Lucas Vazquez already missed, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Also,
so
Vazquez misses for Real Madrid, so Atletico having the opportunity to go ahead now.
Poorly taken penalty.
Atletico misses as well. Llorente misses. Wow.
Off the post too. Oh.
Yeah. So they're back even now. Both teams have missed the penalty one. Wow, this is really tough.
Before it happens, who wins on penalties?
Well, right now, Madrid is on the verge of winning, so I'd have to give it to them.
Which Madrid won?
Well, we'll find out in just a second because the team in white's about to shoot.
Wow, the
And it's
goalkeeper touched it.
unbelievable how he get into passing. Unbelievable
You know, Real Madrid
to see
really.
how Real Madrid just got through. Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
You said you didn't want me to spoil it. There we go. I didn't spoil it for you.
That's the thing about the Champions League, huh?
Yeah. Well, that was something else. But Real Madrid, we can't say that we are surprised that they've made their way into the quarterfinals, Juan, because they are the most highly respected and most successful team in European football history. But we have to respect the challenge that Atletico Madrid gave them.
That what we did. I mean, we've been talking about it ever since the draw. If there is a team that could beat Real Madrid, although it didn't happen today, it was Atletico Madrid. And, well, Arsenal, it's been good seeing you. You were done with the Champions League, to be honest with you. And when it comes to what we've seen today, it's just what this rivalry is all about. What this encounter between these two sides really gives you, dating back to the final in Lisbon in 2014, the second final 2 years later in 2016. And to be quite honest with you, it's basically yet another chapter in that. Unfortunately, the trilogy has not favored Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, because I'm not watching the game live, Juan, you will see that I was a little bit confused about the Julian Alvarez situation because he scored, but the penalty was taken away. We're going to look back at that now, and you can talk us through this because he scores here. So I thought that was registered as a goal for Atletico, but the official pulled that goal back, and that changed things for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, you're going to see. I think that the referee had said it was 2 touches.
2 touches?
First time around because he kind of slips a little bit. So, I mean, I didn't see it quite well. I mean, so then the second time around, obviously, he ends up missing. So,
yeah, I gather it was contentious, though.
Yeah, it was.
Given what we're hearing.
It was. I mean, so much so that if you start seeing all the scores, they went from 4-3 to all of a sudden 4-2. He said, wait a second, how'd that happen? And yeah, 2 back-to-back misses for Atletico Madrid. Both Marcos Llorente, who hit the post, ends up basically being, for all intents and purposes, the clincher. But it's not only that. The chance that Jan Oblak had just recently had, and the last shot, Tony Rudiger ends up taking the shot. It ends up being blocked by Oblak, and then it just trickles in. And Oblak still had one chance. He was about to swat it, but it already crossed the line. Yeah. So it shows you exactly how things are. Let's see from this angle. Maybe that's the confirmation.
Yeah.
Didn't see exactly. I mean, they really didn't give a lot of replays in terms of how or why that penalty was retaken. But based on how everything went down, it seemed as if it was 2 touches, when he slipped. So
yeah,
I mean, that'll have to be confirmed later.
Yeah, I would really like to see that again, Juan, because it looked clean to me just seeing the highlights here, but because I'm not focusing on the game and I was just trying to pick up what was happening while we conduct this interview, it was a little bit tough digesting what happened there, because as far as I saw, the goal was scored and the penalty shootout was still level.
Yeah, I mean, that's live TV for you. We're doing things on the fly and watching things out of the corner of our eye. So yeah, it's all of that. But the only thing that you can come up with is basically that. Now, let's switch this a little bit, because Barcelona continue. They play Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid should pass through against Arsenal, and the only team that's not playing Champions League in that La Liga race ends up being Atleti. Maybe that's the upper hand that they need in order to be able to take an advantage in a very tight race.
In La Liga. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Right, so there's the bracket. So we'll slot Real Madrid in as the Arsenal opponents for the quarterfinals. Juan Giarango has angered the Arsenal fans by suggesting that Real Madrid should get past the Gunners and go through to the semis. It's going to be PSG against Aston Villa, Barca against Borussia. I'll give you a chance to comment soon, Juan. I'm just going through the brackets here. And Bayern taking on Inter. Yes, Juan, Arsenal, Real Madrid.
It's a team that has pedigree against a team that doesn't.
Oh, Arsenal doesn't have pedigree?
No. Compared to Real Madrid, no.
Oh, compared to Real Madrid, yeah. I guess I can't argue with that, but they do have quality, though.
Oh, no, that they do. That they do. And it's I mean, it all depends on the usual suspects again functioning properly. I mean, when Arsenal have had trouble, it's because Odegaard, obviously when Saka has been out and no one else has been able to truly take the reins in the middle of the pitch. Arsenal is a different story. Now, is it going to be easy for Real Madrid? No, it never is. I mean, you have a very well-organized defensive structure that they do have. But at the end of the day, are they capable of taking that leap forward? I mean, we've been waiting for it. We've been, well, you know, the process that Mikel Arteta's been talking about, well, here it is. Are they going to show it or not? That's the big question mark with Arsenal.
Yeah, and of course, you know, topping the European platform is so much more difficult in many ways than your domestic league, and they have fallen so far behind Liverpool that it is widely accepted now that the English Premier League race is already over with Liverpool so far in front.
Yeah, and I mean the same thing I said about Atleti, to even a much greater extent because of the advantage Liverpool have over Arsenal.
Yes.
Well, that also ends up being valid for them too, since they have a final this weekend and they can focus the rest of the season on, you know, making it as quickly as possible to get that 20th league title.
Okay, Juan, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for linking with us as we went through the final moments of the second day of these round of 16 matches in the UEFA Champions League. Anthony Rudiger's penalty winning it for Real Madrid over Atletico Madrid, and propelling the multiple champions into the quarterfinals against Arsenal. We'll talk again soon, Juan, I'm sure. Back in a moment.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, with more on the SportsMax Zone, our interactive segment with Ramarak leading the way after this.
Yeah.